welcome to this latest episode of Extra Butter, our fifth and final in the K-pop comeback series. So excited, it's getting my words mixed up. Thank you for joining us. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy.
So I'm not saying we saved the best for last, but probably the most interesting conversation for last, maybe. But this episode is focusing on two of our favorites, BTS, their latest comeback, and all the news surrounding BTS, and JHope, his comeback, his performance at Lollapalooza. So there is a lot to get into. Tammy, since they're kind of two different things, I'm gonna let you decide. Dealer's choice. Who do you want to start with? BTS as a group or JHope as a soloist?
Since you love them more than I do, how about you do it?
We could talk about the group first. What do you mean I love them more than you do?
You do.
Is that breaking news? You don't like BTS anymore?
No, I love BTS, but when we talk about like who is like your number one group, it's not BTS.
Huh?
BTS is not my number one group, so. But I think like they would be like yours.
Actually, I said before, it's kind of like children. I have three that are pretty much the same for me. BTS, GOT7, and Monsta X. I love them all the same, but differently. Those are my three groups that can do no wrong. Those are my three groups that I ride or die with. Not meaning that I'm gonna love everything that they do, or agree with everything that they do or say, because I don't. But those are my three that I'm like, yeah, I don't give a damn. Those are my boys. Come at me, and I will. Yeah. So, but I do have mad love for them. But yeah. So okay, we can start with the group. So BTS has been the focus of a lot of discussion. I know a lot of people thought that when the world's biggest group during their festa said that they were taking a break, that they just thought, oh my gosh, kind of a little bit like we talked about before with GOT7, that we would never hear from or see them again. And some people, I guess, got the word, they added in the word breaking up, which they never said. They were just said they were taking a break to focus on individual projects. And I also think the timing is also scheduled to really figure out what is going to go on with them in the military while all of that is still in flux. So it was the perfect time to take a break, a well-deserved, much-needed break. But the shareholders at HYBE didn't agree, because that stock tanked upon the announcement of them of that announcement about them taking a break. What did you think about it? Like their break taking? Were you one of the ones who freaked out?
No, to be honest, I think the people who freaked out were the teenagers. Like, I'm sorry. Like, as adults, I feel like when they said they were going on hiatus, we heard them say they were going on hiatus, which is another word for a break. So I never once had a thought that came in my head that said, oh my God, BTS is breaking up. Like, no, like I rolled my eyes when I talked to like some of the teenagers in my life who were like, oh my God, like I just started crying when they said that. And I was just like, wait, what? They said they were taking a break. She's like, yeah, but like, that means they're like breaking up. And I was like, they're not breaking up. It's okay. Dry your tears. So no, I was not one of those, because I'm a grown ass woman. So yeah, I know how to define words that come out of their mouths. So no, I didn't have that reaction. Yeah.
Well, just the way just the way the company stock reacted, I have a feeling that a lot of adults who invested in HYBE freaked the fuck out too. And
because of the teenagers. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but to me, I'm like, well, as an adult, you need to like not listen to teenagers. And I think part of it was because, around Festa, everyone was looking for this big tour announcement. And I kind of figured it was coming. I didn't think we were going to get a tour announcement, because 9 years is a weird year to put out an anthology album. Usually it comes like an even year, like a 5 year, 10 year, something like that. So I'm like year nine. So I wasn't surprised, especially when I watched the whole Festa thing, and RM and the rest of them explained it. And I guess they added to the fact that they were moving out of the dorm that they haven't lived in forever. Like the lease was finally up on that expensive ass dorm that they have not lived in. Um, that they were just finally clearing all of their stuff out. And so I was like, damn. And so it had me like, wait a minute. I mean, it had me thinking, did I hear it wrong? Like, was I the one who was hearing what I wanted to hear? So I had to go back and rewatch it. And I'm like, no, he said what I thought he said. They're just taking a break. So, like, everyone else, I was like, I wanted to say, if I actually wrote shit on Twitter, besides the popcorn wind down, that's it. That's the plug. Pop, pop, pop. Came a little early for y'all. Give you a special treat. But if I was one of those who actually wrote comments and personal posts on Twitter, I really would have written, calm the fuck down. They're just taking a break. And like I said, if you think about it, the timing is perfect, just to get into the military talk and hiatus, which we'll talk about in a minute. So what did you think about the anthology album, Proof?
So you told me that there were 4 songs. I'm gonna be honest, even after you told me there were 4 songs, still have not gone back and listened to BTS Run. Or is it Run BTS? My bad. Which one?
Run BTS.
My bad.
Run
BTS.
Run. Yeah.
Run BTS, run. But so yeah, I haven't listened to that one yet, so I can't give my opinion on it. But what I will say is, for the other 3 songs that I listened to, I love those songs. And I'm focusing on the new songs because the Proof album was mainly done just putting together what they consider to be their greatest hits, and then they just added in 4 additional songs. So Born Singer automatically was put on my ultimate playlist. Love that song. Like, absolutely love it. I am one of those people where I felt that I was just so happy that they were back to their roots, but they were still showing that they're grown and they're different and they've evolved as a group, but they went back to what made everybody fall in love with them. And I thought they did a great job of those songs. And also, picking the songs that they did to show proof on why they're the biggest band. They're the biggest boy band in the world, the biggest group. Let's put it out there, in the world. Like, just those 4 songs alone, or those 3 songs that I listened to, was just proof on how they got to where they are.
Yeah, I have to say, usually I'm not a fan of anthology albums. They're different from a greatest hits. An anthology usually is when the artist, like you say, curates the music themselves and puts together what they think are going to be, or their favorite songs, like the songs that they think represent their career to that point. And I loved it. It's actually one that I can go back and listen to. Pretty much, there are a couple of songs that I skipped that I just don't like. I've never liked Idol. I think and even as we've grown, because I know when I used to say I don't like some of their earlier stuff, and I love a lot of their earlier stuff now. The more I've gone back and listened to it, I love. But Idol is just one of those songs that's never grown on me. And I know this is an unpopular opinion. I know people absolutely love Spring Day. They will die for Spring Day. It is probably their favorite BTS song. I think Spring Day was ranked. Someone, I want to say Rolling Stone or Billboard did the top 100 BTS songs, and Spring Day was number 1. Spring Day is not my favorite. I love hearing it live. I love the live performances of Spring Day, but I guess maybe because the song's just so sad and why it was written, I don't know. But I listen to it, but I have to be in the mood to hear Spring Day. So I know, shoot me now. But yeah, it's not my favorite BTS song. But other than that, I love the anthology album. I love all 4 of the songs that are on there. Born Singer is actually an adaptation or a remake of a J. Cole song, Born Sinner, from right around his debut in 2013. Um, so he's technically a co-writer of that song. They did give him writing credit, but I I loved the performance piece they did for this, the one when they were in the desert. It was just them, and like we were talking about earlier about hearing groups with live bands. I love BTS when not necessarily when they sing live because they sing live a lot, but it's usually over a backing track. I love them when they do band performances. So probably as far as besides the 2019, I think MoMA performance or MMA performance, whichever one that was, where they did Diagnosis and they had like that whole 40-minute set. Besides that performance, which is just an animal of its own, I love probably my favorite BTS performance would be the Tiny Desk because they had that live band and they were singing live. And the same thing with the Proof Desert piece, performance piece. Amazing. I just wish they would have done Run BTS, but they didn't. They said it was something that they would probably do in a concert, but I love it. Um, so I agree with you. I think that it is an amazing album. Are there songs on there that you wish they would have put on that you kind of wish that you missed?
Yeah, like Just One Day, which is one of their earlier singles. I don't remember which album it was on. I remember like when I first got into BTS, I watched a lot of their practice videos, and dance practice videos, and Just One Day was the one that really like caught my attention. So it made me really love the song. War of Hormone, I love that one as well. Silver Spoon, which definitely showcased JHope. Save Me was another one. Anpan Man, which I just love. It's so energetic. Mic Drop was another one. They didn't include Mic Drop, but I think like a lot, and granted, I mean, they included Idol, and that was one thing about Idol. Idol was kind of like a looking at other people and being like, oh yeah, you're talking about us, but we're still doing our thing and we're still like popular and we're still making money. And I think like Mic Drop was, in addition to that, they was also saying like, oh, you're trying to say like, oh, we're not talented, but look at all these awards we have. And I think like if it's an album called Proof, which is to prove why they are as big as they are, I think Mic Drop would definitely been a great addition. So I think they definitely missed the point on not including Mic Drop. I think Mic Drop definitely connected with the message I feel they were trying to give off with this Proof album that they released. And then the last one is Stay Gold. It's really like it didn't get as much attention as I think it deserved, but just like the vocal line, I thought that's one of the strongest songs I've ever heard from them, especially Jin, but also the rap line as well. Just like the support, but it's really a song for like the vocal line, and the rap line like comes in and out. So Stay Gold is definitely one of my favorite songs. I wish they would have included it. But there's still a lot of songs on the Proof album that I really loved, I enjoyed, that I can play on repeat, that's already on my playlist. So overall, I think they did a great job on choosing the songs that they did. So yeah, it was really good. Overall, it was really good.
I agree. I liked some of the songs. I liked some of the songs you chose. Stay Gold and Mic Drop definitely. I would have included on there. Just One Day is a really good song. Save Me on there? I don't think so.
Save Me is not on there.
Yeah, Save Me. I like that one. I got a better appreciation for that one once I heard it live on the Tiny Desk one, but I love that song. I was hoping that we would have gotten Dang. I know Dang is not a song that they released on single. I don't even think Dang was on an album. But I was hoping that we would get like a single version of Dang. I love it. Whether it's the rap line or the vocal line performing it, Dang is one of my favorites. Um, Gosh, what else? Uh, I'm having a brain freeze right now, but yeah. Oh, and Home. Home is probably my favorite, and I know that's a crowd pleaser and one of their popular B-sides, but I love Home. But once I think I gained a little bit more respect or really for this project. And I'm not gonna. Respect is the wrong word, but it's the best one I can think of right now. But I more understanding for the songs. I watched their little proof things snippets where they each member explained the two songs that they chose and why. So I was like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Or it provides a little bit more understanding. But like I said, it's really good. And I enjoyed it. But I do love the four new songs that they put on there, which leads me to I really, really, really think I don't know what the second chapter holds for them as a group, but I think I'm of the mind that I think there are two particular types of albums, at least two, that they should put out in the next chapter. One, I think that this album proves that they could do a pure R&B hip hop album and kill it. The four songs that they put on there, they were laced in R&B and hip hop solely. They gave you that feel, they gave you that vibe. For Youth even had a little bit of that gospel "Take Me Home" undertone to it. It is amazing. I think they did a phenomenal job. So I'm of that mind that yes, I would love to hear. And I know BTS does the whole genreless thing well. Talked about it throughout the series. Um, they do the genreless thing really, really well. One of those groups who can pull it off. But I would love, love, love to have a full R&B hip hop album from BTS. What about you?
You need a whole album of like an R&B hip hop. Like, I don't need it.
So the next one, English, a full English album. I say yes.
My opinion is still the same. I say no. Not unless they're going for a Grammy again.
Why would that be the only way? Why do you think that should be the only way that they make a full English album?
Because that's the only reason why they would make a full English album is if they were trying to win a Grammy. That's the reason why they went to an all English singles where they came out and they did the whole thing for 2 years with all English singles. Their goal was to win a Grammy with those singles, and they ultimately didn't. So if they went for a full English album, I think that it would just be because they're trying to go for a Grammy again.
I disagree. I don't think that would be the only reason. I mean, I see the appeal of it, but I don't think that would be the only reason. And I don't think that should be the only reason that they should make it. As far as the Grammy, like with Dynamite, I can't say that's the only reason why they did it because they also released one of their best albums and their most underrated albums, which Dynamite was on, and that was B. And Dynamite was the only English song on that album. So, I think that they could make an all English album, and I'm not necessarily when I say album. They could do they could do the typical EP thing, which is becoming more popular, not just in K-pop, but in music in general. I think that was one of the evolutions of the music business because of COVID or as a result of COVID. But I, and I've long since said this that I would love to hear them do a full English album, just because, kind of a la Monsta X. I don't necessarily think that it would take away from who they are or mean that it's just Grammy bait. I think it would just be another challenge or another goal to conquer in the music industry. Monsta X has released several full English albums and continue to still be Monsta X.
Parasite won international. They won the main award. That's fantastic. BTS did not. BTS did not win the main award. They didn't even win the World Album Award. Now, granted, I don't think they entered themselves into the World Album Award. But they didn't win the main award. Parasite entered themselves in.
But you're not always going to win. And I think BTS.
But they're not always going to win. But that's I just feel the realistic viewpoint is adding a K-pop category, I'm sorry, like it's not an American genre. Latin music
But
is an American genre. It's part of American culture. I love the fact like
so
we have
it's
the
K-pop.
Korean invasion. We have the Korean invasion right now, but I just don't feel like America is not like it's just not going to happen. I don't agree that it's going to happen. And if it did, it would dilute their win. It would dilute their win if they added that category.
I completely disagree. And it's
we're gonna
like
have to agree to disagree then.
But like I said, it's not, the Grammys are not just about American music, okay? And it's about international music, just like the Oscars aren't just about American films or now those are the main categories. I get it, but here's the thing: if you add a K-pop category, then it will, because it's not BTS. It's not BTS. They can't be nominated in all K-pop categories. They can't be all 5, 6 of the nominations. Okay, it's just not happening. You add the category and you get the pub for these other groups. They go up for Monsta X. And a lot of times in these awards, the most popular group who we think should win don't win. Now, the last couple of years, BTS has joined a very exclusive club of people who should have won who didn't. They were snubbed. Okay, The Weeknd, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, Beyonce has never won Album of the Year. I don't even think she's won Entertainer of the Year. So they've made an exclusive list of people who should have won on what they put up. Now, but you get Monsta X, GOT7, those other K-pop groups the attention just by being nominated. The Emmys, a lot of people I know do what I do. There's shows for the Emmys that because so much TV and so much stuff has come out and we have access to so much, what I do is I go back and I look at the list, and I will go back and look at the shows that I have not seen or listen to the songs or the artists that I may have overlooked because we are inundated with so much now. And that would give attention to those other artists. So I don't think you look at it as just because BTS is nominated, even in the K-pop category, they're going to win. That is not necessarily the case. And like I said, it's not to give BTS an award. It's to recognize the ever-growing genre of K-pop music, which is becoming more international and more popular, and it's not going anywhere. But we could continue.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
But the article I saw today was just stupid. So one way that they're thinking about doing it is having them serve in the military, yet still perform, which I think is ridiculous. And again, it goes back to you can't have it both ways. Either exempt them or just make them serve out their time. Another one that I saw, another option that I see is being presented is for all K-pop stars, either exempting all K-pop stars, which they had talked about before, or just having them basically go through basic training and that's it. And after basic training, their military service would be done, not just for BTS, but the K-pop stars. So I'm cutting it down from that period, 1.5 to 2 period to just that basic training period. So we will see what happens and whether or not BTS will actually have to serve and what happens. I think we will know probably January. Jen would be the first to probably go. But whatever they do, they can't send them one at a time. That would be way too much and would take way too long. So I don't think they would do that. As we already know, Heidi Stock would barely survive that. Reason for this, not the whole reason, but part of the reason, 2 things. So the reason that they talked about their hiatus is to work on individual projects. The first project we got was from JHope, Jack in the Box. What did you think of JHope's first full solo album, Jack in the Box?
I thought it was very generic. He's very, very talented on his own. He has his own flow. But I don't feel that this album really showed it. I was not a fan of the album. I will just say that it pays to be a BTS member because it's going to sell no matter what, no matter how good or not so good it is. But I don't think that he would have got the attention that he's gotten if he wasn't a member of BTS. And this wasn't through the whole like controversy with them taking a hiatus and, you know, all of that. And I love JHope, but I wasn't feeling this. And I know like people may have different opinions, but I just wasn't feeling it. Like I have not repeated any song. I listened to it so that we can review. No song really caught my attention. I did pick some that, yeah, they were like better than most. But there was no song that really like caught my attention where I had to put it on the playlist. Which is like the ultimate get, is to be put on the playlist. It doesn't hold my interest. It's very random in words. It's very short songs. It's just not my taste. He was yelling through some of the songs to bring effect, which completely turned me off because that's just not my thing. It makes me not want to get the English translation of his songs because he didn't catch my interest with any of the songs in Korean. And if you can't catch my interest in Korean, I sure enough ain't gonna go see what you actually saying in English, like, because I really don't care. So yeah, there was a new style that he tried, and I don't feel he succeeded at it. That's my opinion.
Oh wow. I would have to disagree. I loved it. I I thought it was different. I was one of the people who didn't like Hope World. It's not that I didn't like Hope World. I just didn't love it like everyone else. There were some songs on there that I liked, but they were his darker, I guess, more adult. I won't say. I'll say more real songs, the ones that weren't just all sunshine and roses. And I loved Piece of Peace and Blue Side, which at the time was not even a full single. And then later he released Blue Side as a full, complete single. Blue Side was more or less like an interlude on Hope World, but that is probably one of my favorite songs. I love Blue Side and I love Piece of Peace. Um, so I was interested to see what J Hope had to put out, and all I kept saying is, I hope it's not a Hope World 2. I don't want a Hope World 2. I don't want another Hope World. I want to see what else J Hope has. And I wasn't a fan of. I know him, RM, and Sugar put out solo mixtapes. They were the first to do so. And their first projects, I all thought that they were still cognizant um, of being a part of BTS. It was, I thought, it was still an extension of them. I thought that they were holding back, I guess, is what I was saying. I Sugar kind of let go of that with his second release, August D. It was amazing, and I loved it. I was like, it was. I give no fucks. This is who I am. Shit, I'm just gonna be Sugar. Say what I want to say. I loved it, and I am looking forward to his next one. But with J Hope, he surprised me with Jack in the Box. I think he shocked a lot of people with Jack in the Box, especially more. Um, and I from more, once I saw more and I saw the teaser, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be different. And then I saw the video for more, um, and I was like, holy shit, this is different. Like he went there, and I loved more. It was it's a hybrid. It takes me back to the late '90s, early 2000s when the mix of R I'm not R&B, but hip hop and rock, like Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Korn. Jay Z and Linkin Park did a hell of an album together. I love their mashup album. So that's what more reminds me of. It had that R&B with that heavy rock drum synth underneath, and so it kind of took me back to one of those songs, and I loved it. It's just it pays homage to a lot of old school hip hop, Wu Tang Clan, Old Dirty Bastard on What If. So I loved it. One song, Safety Zone, when it starts, it kind of reminds me of more like that TLC sound, that smooth out R&B hip hop sound. So I thought everything was amazing from the concept to just him showing a different side of himself. Like he's still J Hope, but this is a different side. This is grown ass J Hope. This is who I am. Like I bring hope and sunshine. That's who I am. But I also have these feelings. This is the music I want to make, and so I was looking. I loved it. It was a no skips for me all the way through. His second song, Arson, was amazing. So Safety Zone is my jam. I just love the beat. It's just mellow. You know, talking about the safety zone. Where is it? What is it? Sometimes how we get stuck there. You know, so I and I know it wasn't your thing, and you said you didn't want to hear the words, but they're not as random as you think, especially on more. You know, he's talking about is it selfish of him to want more? Because with BTS, he already has, it seems like he has it all, but he still wants more. You know, as far as he still has more to prove and all that kind of stuff. And he even does mention, yes, he does, he still wants to go for that Grammy. So I love the whole thing. And I think Arson was more about him just burning down the preconceptions of who he was and just everything else. And, you know, is it take like the album is really about a paradox, kind of like Pandora's box. So I think that's a great opening. Is like, you know, it was risky. But I will agree with you. I think if he wasn't a part of BTS, um, if he wasn't J-Hope from BTS, I don't think he would have gotten the prime spot he got at Lollapalooza as the closing headliner of Lollapalooza. So that definitely came from him being BTS, and they made a killing off of it. That whole day was dubbed Hobie Palooza, and that was their biggest draw for the Sunday. Um, and he killed it. Like I love the performance. Did you? So I take it you did not watch any of the performance.
Nope. I don't watch concerts though. Like,
but I thought you were gonna. I don't know. I thought maybe you might watch like a clip or whatever. But he did a great job. Like Jamin came over to support him, which I thought was really really sweet, and he said that helped him out a lot, like his nerves and all of that. And he you did not miss the fact that that the other six were not with him. It was, he just put on that give a show. Not once did I ever say, "Ooh, I need Jungkook to be here," or I need the rest of the guys to be here," or "I miss the rest of the guys." I don't. It wasn't that thing where it was ever like this point where, okay, J-Hope, like, you know how they do their individual stages for their concert or whatever. It wasn't like that at all. He just came out and he entertained. He cussed. It was like it was a different J-Hope. Like it really really was. He did a great job. You could tell at some points he was tired. He even said, "Damn." He doesn't know how people do that all the time. And it was just really really, it was a good show. He remixed. He did the tropical version of Dynamite, but he mostly danced to it. So I thought he did a great job. I don't think the reason why people like this album is because he is part of BTS. I think in a lot of it's just a good album. Even if he wasn't J-Hope from BTS, but this is just someone I discovered, I would still love this album as much as I do. It was really good and it was really surprising. And actually, it was probably one of the ones that I thought that I would like the least, just based on my opinion of Hope World. So I am looking forward to the other solo projects. Whose are you looking forward to the most?
After J-Hope, I don't think I'm a little scared about what the other ones are gonna put out.
Why? They all have their own different sound. Like this is who he is outside of BTS, which I was happy to hear it. I didn't want to hear him try to be BTS. So I'm interested to see what they're gonna do as grown men. But go ahead. You don't want to hear it? Why are you scared?
Because I didn't like this one. And it has nothing to do with like, because J-Hope's image of sunshine and butterflies, that is a persona that they put out. Every single one of them has a certain image that they have to put out, rather than like revealing like other sides to themselves. And they have to continue to do that for, I would say, probably the rest of their lives, which is, it's a definitely welcome change that J-Hope is showing the darker side of himself. I just did not like the album that he put out in showcasing the darker side of himself. I'm not against him showing another side of himself, because nobody is sunshine and butterflies all the time, and it gets very annoying after a while. But I just didn't like this album as a showcase of another part of himself. I just was not a fan of it. And that's the reason why I'm not sure who I am. Like, does that, like, I'm just not sure who I would actually be anticipating for the next person to come out with their solo. I guess the person that I would hope would stick to what I am expecting and what I think he can do extremely well would be JK, which is highly anticipated. So I would love to see what JK puts out if I'm gonna name a member, but I'm still kind of like, I'll wait until they come out with their solos before I decide if I'm really excited or because I just don't know. Just because this first one, just not for me, not for me at all.
Well, I don't know. I have so many questions now. Okay, let's start with this. Um, is it fair to judge them all based on him though? Because they're all different.
Based on
And
their
then,
what?
is it fair to judge them all based on this? How you feel about this? Is it fair to base the others on that?
But I'm not
Because they're all
judging.
different.
I'm just saying that I'm just a little bit wary of what the others are gonna put out. I am wary. Like that's just the natural feeling of the fact of like they're all gonna come out with their singles except for Jin. Jin's not gonna do a single. He may come out with a song, but I don't see Jin actually doing an album. But I'm just wary because there are different sides to them, and I fully understand that this is like every single one of them puts out a persona. But like Sugar did a great job of like Sugar has a persona about him, but at the same time, like he added onto it. So I really, really love August D. And also like his skill is just off the charts. Like, like he's just absolutely the best. RM as well, like you kind of like understand RM's flow. JHope brought that. I'm just not, I'm very, very skeptical about the others. I don't think I'm skeptical about RM or Sugar. I think they've already established what their style is. Even if they kind of change it, I think I'm still going to like what they put out. But I am very wary about the vocal line. I am hoping that JK kind of sticks to like what he absolutely loves because there's a genre that he just really, really loves. And I'm hoping that he sticks to that. But I'm just very wary about, I guess, the vocal line and what they're going to put out based on what JHope did. I didn't like this one. So that means that I'm not super excited about what the other members are going to do. I'm just putting it out there.
So what are you expecting to hear from, well, before we go there, what are you going to rate Jack in the Box before we move on? Before I ask that next question.
I'm giving it 2 popcorns. I hated it. So yeah, you don't even get 2.5. Like I'm giving it 2 popcorns, and that's basically because JHope is one of my favorite members, and I think he's extremely talented. This is just one outing that I was not a fan of.
I am giving it's tying up there with Zico. I said I had 2 that were at the highest, and so it was Zico and it was this. So it gets 4.5 popcorns from me. I absolutely love it, and I look forward to hearing more from JHope. And I'm glad. One of the things I'm happy about, and I agree with RM when he said it, is that they get to showcase who they are individually. And I talked about it in our Got 7. Sometimes as a member of a group, no matter how talented you are, we can still only get to see glimpses of that and get to see glimpses of who you are. And like I said, I'm glad this wasn't a carbon copy of the same type of music he makes with BTS. I'm glad he went out and he did his own thing, and he's discovering who he is as an artist and the type of music that he likes and the type of music that he wants to make. So I liked this album. I thought it was great, and it far exceeded my expectations of what I was expecting. So, what type of music do you want JK to put out? What are you hoping to hear from him?
JK is I think R&B, an R&B pop feel is definitely up JK's alley. I think that showcases just his absolute like amazing talent that he has. So if he's putting out an album, just based on like previous things that he's put out when he's done his solos, I just see him doing an R&B pop album.
I agree with that. I think R&B pop hybrid would be his great a great thing. As much as people love the song with him and Charlie Puth left and right, I thought it was a little bubblegum, and I really didn't think it showcased his talent. But you know, so what do you think V should put out? Like that's the one that's going to be like I don't even know if you can categorize it. That's the one I'm expecting to be the most eclectic. Like that's the one I would say would probably be genreless, and it just depends on what mood he's in when he records a song. Where he finally, because from my understanding, he's written and re-recorded that album so many times. Um, so yeah, but what are you expecting versus what are you hoping from V? Can you even gauge that?
Well, to be honest, I don't have any expectations for V. I just know V is hit or miss for me when it comes to the songs that he puts out. So I'm guessing his album will probably be hit or miss for me. Is either I'm going to really, really love it, or I am going to kind of give it the same treatment that I gave J Hope solo.
Um, yeah, I didn't like gosh, what was the song? I didn't like his solo song on Map of the Soul 7. I forgot the name of it. I forgot, yeah,
Inner
but
child.
yeah, Inner Child. I wasn't crazy about Inner Child. Most other stuff I like. But yeah, like I said, I'm just expecting. I don't know what to expect. I'm just that's the one I have to wait to hear. But I was just like, okay, we'll see. What about Jimin?
Okay. Jimin is the weakest vocalist in BTS. Even though he always gets voted as like the top vocalist in K-pop. Um, I'm gonna be honest and say not anticipating him. And I love him. I love Jimin. I do. He's one of my favorite members of BTS. Not anticipating what he puts out. I'm actually anticipating more. I wish Jin would actually do an album. Jin, I think Jin is the one who can do the best of like kind of doing a little bit of a hybrid, kind of like JK, but just going a little bit more grown and a little bit more indie, if that makes sense. I think that Jin has it in him to go a little indie, but still like really do an amazing job because he's actually really strong as a vocalist. And I don't think he gets enough attention for how he's grown his talent over the years. But for Jimin, I'll be excited to see the performances. If that like, because I think Jimin's gonna like perform like absolutely amazing every single time. But his actual album, nah, I'm good.
Um, I agree with you about his vocals. Sometimes they're really great, and then sometimes it's like, oh, baby. But I think if he I like his solo. I like his solos from BTS. So if he sticks along the lie, filter, serendipity line, so maybe a little bit R&B pop for him too. Um, I did not like his OST song, but you know I'm not crazy about all the OST songs, but I did not like his OST song. Um, so yeah. Jin, I think is going to surprise us. I think we will at least get an EP from Jin. I just think Jin would be the one to do the least as far as promoting it. I don't think we would get performances from him. You would probably get the obligatory "I made this video." You might get a V Live, yo, my album dropped, check it out. I played video games for 3 days leading up to this moment type thing. You know, Precious is just Precious, but I think he would surprise us and at least drop 4 songs and be done with it. It would be like the least promoed out of them all. We say Sugar is the one with no F's to give, but it's actually Precious who really truly marches to the beat of his own drum. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of their performances.
I just,
Um,
oh,
huh?
sorry. No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say? I,
No, I was gonna say um, I think Jin is the first member who has truly outgrown the idol life. and he would just kind of like to sit in the background and kind of like just support his friends and everything like that. I think just based on like his just like how, you know, he's grown, like he's about to be 30 years old, and I think he's just outgrown the idol life. Like at least with like Sugar is like, okay, I have no fucks to give, but like Sugar's thing is he's a hip-hop artist, so like at the end of the day, like that's Sugar's thing. So Sugar may not necessarily care about the idol life, but he cares about like his genre of music, which is not necessarily K-pop, it's K-hip-hop. And the same thing with RM as well. Like I think they're the rest of the members have not necessarily outgrown the idol life yet, but I think Jin is at the point where he's outgrown the idol life. And so that's why he's kind of like, yeah, I'm not putting any effort into this. First of all, he doesn't have to, and he realizes that. But I think I honestly, that's kind of like the vibe that I get when I see him now and when I watch him and when I read articles about him, is that he's just outgrown it. Like he's just not about this anymore. He's too grown for this. And if he could just like go back into obscurity and kind of do his own thing, he definitely would. But he can't because he's part of the biggest group in the world. So he can't necessarily just disappear. But I think if he could, I think Jin would be the first member to really just slick into the background, never to be heard of again, but just come out when he wants to support his people.
I can't necessarily disagree with that. I'm not gonna say he's outgrown it. I don't think he's ever just really been 100% about it. I think Jen has more just been about, you know, it was fun. It's something to do. But as far as I've always gotten a sense from him that he's the one who liked promoting the least. You know, and I think definitely it is for him more about the group than individual. But you know, he's just always come across to me, even in watching old stuff, as the one who just really truly did the least as far as not really wanting to be front and center, and just, you know, was just like, okay, whatever. But I oh, I guess we're done. Yeah, so that is it. That wraps up. I was like, you have anything else? I don't have anything else.
Okay, we're good.
I know. I know I'm not on that shit. Why? How dare you ask me that? I feel so attacked. So,
like, I mean, like we, you know, we kind of went through the individual ones. We reviewed JHope's. We did BTS. Yeah, I think the conversation's good.
Okay, all right, hey, you got something else?
Oh wait, you didn't
what?
say who you anticipated the most.
Oh, after JHope, gosh, I'm anxious for them all. I would probably say, I'm really, really, really interested in what RM and Sugar do, because they're always making music. V, I, like I said, I will get it when we get it, because from my understanding, he has tons of songs and he's re-recorded this thing. So he's recorded, re-recorded, rewritten this thing so many times. They've all told him several times, just put it out. And the songs that I've heard just in background, just I guess the throwaway songs that he's been allowed to play, or that he's just played and is like, "Fuck you, I'm playing it anyway." I've actually liked them, but I don't know. I'm excited to hear them all. I don't have whoever's next. That's the one I want to hear.
Do you think that the reason why he's continuously recording and re-recording, because is it part of the thing on like it's just like anticipated that they're all going to put out their solos, right? Even if they don't want to, it's kind of like there's pressure that they will, because they've been talking about B and JK for years, and every single time they push it off. But JHope came out with his second, huh?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was saying JHope came out with his second one, and you know, RM has done his, and Sugar has done his. But when I feel like there's a little bit of a like, oh well, you have to put out a solo. So like, I feel like sometimes when I continuously hear like, oh, he's recording and he's re-recording, because I've heard it as well. Like in the back of my head, I'm like, honestly, y'all, is it the pressure of him having to put out something, but he really doesn't want to? Because I feel that way. I feel that way sometimes about them. Like, do they really want to put out a solo project? I'm talking about the vocal line. Do they really want to put out a solo project, or is it kind of like, you have to put out a solo project because you're the most popular members of the group? So like, it's just like the fans are just going to expect it, and you got to do what the fans expect.
I think it's 50-50. I think going back to our earlier conversation, I think Jin and Jimin really, really, if they had their choice, they wouldn't. So I'm probably expecting like P's like 4 songs from them if we get that many, Jin and Jimin. I think that theirs is more the pressure of, because everyone else is doing it, and this is what we said when we were going into hiatus. So yeah, so I think those two would be more of the pressure of having to versus really wanting to. Does that make sense? JK and B, I think they want to, but I think it's the pressure of them being two of the most popular and anticipated members. And just from the conversations I've heard with B, he had a conversation with JHope, and he's also talked about it. And for him, it's the pressure of putting out that perfect thing. Like he has that perfect over good. He's looking for something that doesn't exist, and that's that sense of perfection. Like, and I think it's that he feels the pressure of being part of BTS, that it has to just be this wonderful, great thing. And they've all told him, dude, part of it is, and they've all said what you said, part of it is, it's going to sell anyway because you are a part of BTS, but also we wouldn't let you just put out shit. Like, put out what you feel from your heart. So make it good. And they were like, just put the first one out there and see what happens. Like, it's not going to be bad. Like, they've heard his stuff, and they were like, because the closest he came, like, he had it ready, it was ready to go, and then he pulled it back at the last minute. And JHope was like, why did you do that? So they've all told him to just go ahead and release it and let the chips fall where it may. But we'll see if he actually gets around to it this time. So, and I think it's the same thing with JK. It's the pressure of being JK that you have to, the anticipation, I think. So for those two, I think it's pressure, but it's a little bit different. I think it's the pressure, but I think it's the different than what you were talking about. And for Jin and Jimin, I think it's the pressure of having to versus wanting to. So that's just my opinion. But all right, so we'll see who comes up next, and who's the next one to drop their solo album. If you haven't watched JHope on Lollapalooza set and you liked his album, I would actually recommend it. He really did do a great job. It surprised me just how good he was, and he really was able to entertain the crowd. It was packed full of ARMY, but he really did do a good job. And like I said, you don't miss BTS. Not that you, in that sense, you don't miss BTS. So I think that says a lot about the performance that he put on. All right, well, that does it. And until next time, thank you for joining us. As always, be sure to check out the full K-pop series. Also check out Wine Down Radio to hear our K-pop comeback playlist. Tammy has one. I have one. Check them out, and we'll feature some of our favorite songs from the comebacks. So I have a quick question before we hang up, before we end this. Did any of JHope's songs at least make your K-pop comeback playlist?
No.
Oh wow.
So like, okay, so the funny thing is that when I sent you the playlist, I kind of like added songs that you mentioned in the previous like recordings that we did. So it's not necessarily fully my playlist. I didn't realize we were doing 2 different playlists. So I feel like I need to revamp my playlist and send you another one so you can put it out again. Because if it was just my playlist, I wouldn't have added in none of JHope's songs. But there are some songs that are on the playlist that kind of tweaked my interest, but just didn't hold it through the whole song. So there are a couple of them, like Equal Sign. Safety Zone and Arson made the playlist because they tweaked my interest, but just didn't hold it through the whole song.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, look forward to the playlist. Thank you for listening. And until the next episode of Extra Butter, stay poppy, y'all. I don't know if it works. I'm just trying it out. Throwing, it's like throwing something against the wall to see what sticks. But we have decided you all are pop stars. So thank you for that. All right. And until next, be sure to like, listen, subscribe, follow to your wherever streaming service you listen to your podcast, because yeah, we're just like that. We're international now, y'all, like K-pop. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And also be sure to check out the dailywindown.com, the Daily Wind for your latest in entertainment and popcornwindown.com. That's it. That's the plug. Pop. Till next time.
I have an announcement.
I'm Eddie. Oh, what's your announcement?
So, I finally did it, Eddie. And I'm announcing it on the podcast. I finally created my watch list.
Oh shit, we gonna get another Tammy's watch list, y'all.
I did it. I was like, oh shit, I gotta let Eddie know.
All over the place. All right.
Y'all don't know how long it's been, over a year. But so I did. So if you haven't already, please check out my watch list on the website. I will definitely do better this year. That is one of my goals. I'm gonna do better. I'm so sorry, y'all. To my pop stars, watch out, because I be suggesting some really good stuff to watch.
Okay. She does. All right. Well, I'm so excited. Watch out. We got more stuff coming. Tammy's watch list. So until next time, I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy. Bye.